I'm going to concentrate on two of the sections, the one that deals with labeling and the one that deals with driver's education. Having legalized this substance, we are not doing our duty as a legislature unless we inform those who are going to partake of this substance of the risks involved. Even states like California are looking at strengthening their labeling requirements and modeling their packaging labeling along what Canada prescribes. And I've included that in my testimony. You are required on all marijuana products to have a rotating health warning label. So on your Hershey bar, so 10 possible warnings on those particular products, you would choose one of the 10. It's set against a bright yellow background, a minimum of 12-point font in black. So one is led in no doubt that these are the possible risks. And they include the smoke from cannabis is harmful and contains toxic chemicals. Don't use while pregnant or breastfeeding. It was very concerning when the Colorado Department of Public Health did a random phone sample of cannabis retailers. 70% of them recommended the use of cannabis to deal with morning sickness in pregnancy. Yet this leads to preterm birth weight, impaired neurological development, and real harms to the unborn child. Don't drive or operate heavy machinery. Young people and adolescents and young adults are at greater risk from harm. We know if you start using this high-potency cannabis before the age of 18, you have a 1 in 6 chance of becoming addicted. 1 in 6. That's almost double the adult risk. Indeed, if you use alcohol, there's a 1 in 10 risk of becoming an alcoholic. But this risk is even greater for young adults. It can take up to 4 hours for you to feel the effects after imbibing the edibles. I think this is one of the great dangers and perhaps misconceptions. When I was here before and the commissioner was talking, I've had a gummy, I don't feel anything. I'm going to have another gummy. I'm going to eat that whole bar of candy. And before you know it, you are severely impaired. New Jersey requires an additional label. That's the poison control number on all edibles. If you discover, your child or you're afraid, they require the use of the poison control number. I think that would be an excellent idea. I think there are a number of additions to labeling that we in all conscience should put on these products because they do come with danger. Again, the horse is out of the barn. Responsible use is responsible use. But for those people who may be imbibing for the first time, hey, let's try this, they should know that it doesn't come without risk. And again, this section that deals with mandatory additions to our driver's ed. Many users of cannabis, as have a Yukon study recently found, underestimate their level of impairment and believe after an hour and a half they're fit to drive, whereas the research shows you should wait at least 4.5 hours before you can safely take the road. I believe Mothers Against Drunk Driving found 6 in 10 adults didn't think driving while high was a danger. Again, just as we have learned that you shouldn't drink and drive, we need to send the message, particularly to young people, that driving while impaired is just as dangerous, just as wrong as driving when drinking. And there are other parts of this bill. I think we need to look seriously at our packaging. Child resistant is not child proof. I know Yukon requested in excess of, $200,000 for additional poison control resources because we've seen such a huge increase across the country as this has become legalized in childhood poisonings. I think we need to look at the ability of law enforcement. California prohibits either drivers or passengers from eating or smoking cannabis in motor vehicles. Probably the wrong committee for this. I mean, we know where we are, but having done what we've done, commercializing this product, making it available to adults, what must we do, what should we do to ensure that it happens in a manner that keeps the maximum number of people safe, prohibits the most amount of harm, and makes our residents safer?